Hey, good morning. AOK product reviews slash AOK news. Yeah, I want to do, or I do, kind of some news updates every once in a while whenever I do my thing here, and I typically do that on the big news. I mean, come on, I'm not going to report on some grandma down the street that lost her cat. But what I am going to talk about is specifically right now, because it's a hot topic in my brain, is Maui, the Lahaina fire. I try to follow it a little bit, and I also try to step away because I think if you follow it, you don't want to follow things into the rabbit hole, especially if you got a brain like mine that doesn't mind a conspiracy theory here and there. You don't want to go into that rabbit hole, but you do want to stay on top of things. You do want to stay informed on what's going on in our world, in our country, and how are our people that are in charge of taking care of us, how are they handling things? Are they doing a good job? Most of the time they're not. Now they're humans, so we do have to keep some level of understanding of human nature. I think that's important. I make mistakes. I make mistakes all the time. I'm probably going to make about 20 to 50 to maybe 100 mistakes in this video and have to edit them out. Same thing happens in real life. So you got to have some buffer, some cushion for these people. You just have to. Now, we should and we do want to make sure that we vote or that we hire the right people to do the right job, and that they are experts and that they're very good at it, and that they don't make quite as many mistakes as I'll make today in this video and edit them out. I'm just going to say it's scary how obvious people are willing to allow it to be that they were favored in some way, or that there was no favoring, and it's right there. But do you know what's even more scary to me is the lack of statistics provided. So before I come to you and I come to talk about this, I have notes. In my notes, there was an existing 1,100 people missing in the Lahaina fire. They also found that there was 388 of those 1,100 people missing, that they put the names out on, I guess, their television, and they have the names, say, Johnny Momoa, blah, 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 blah. And these people have called in to the FBI or whoever's in charge of that, and they have stated, I'm okay. I'm not missing. 388 of the 1,100. So get your calculators out, do the math on that. Now, yesterday, they were saying, I think the death rate was around 99. Now they're up to 111. Now, why can't they have a press conference? The whole world is watching. The whole United States specifically is watching. I'm in Indiana, and I am blown away by this whole situation. They haven't really given you a core reason, a ground zero for how the fire started. They haven't done that. There's no clue. They've already had a guy resign, Herman Andea. He was the guy that was in charge of sounding off the siren. They have sirens on this island, because this island, I believe, is a volcano. I think all of Hawaii's islands are volcanoes. So it's a volcano or close to volcanoes, and they have a very good siren system that is supposed to alert people of tsunamis, windstorms, stuff like that, like cyclones, I guess, they have out in the ocean, and then fires. Yeah, it says it in the directions. If something would have a sticker on it with a button, sound off in case of a fire. Something tells me that this fire should have checked all the boxes pretty quick for this goober, and he should have been able to say, oh, boom. And even if you make a mistake pushing the siren button, I know it's considered crying wolf, but even if you made a mistake, you still would have done it for the good of the cause. You could have said, hey, I thought there was a big fire. Everybody was telling me there's a big fire, so I pushed the button. I'm sorry. I probably shouldn't have, but I was more worried about the people than I was my job. There you have it, right there. Are you more worried about the people than your job? You should be, especially if you're in a position of safety directing. Okay, now let's talk about this guy. There's so many guys. Yeah, I got a guy. Oh, Maui, no, no, no. I got a guy. There's a guy for everything going wrong in that whole thing out there. Khalil Manuel. I hope I'm doing these names justice because I feel like if I would have a place I wish I was from, it would be Hawaii. I love that. I love those places. I think they're incredible. I think they're jackpot winners. They're out there. They have a great culture. They hold on to their culture. I love that they're part of America, and I love that they're out there and they've got these great kaleo, ulo, 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 ulo. Yeah, I love that. I don't give a shit. I'm not making fun of it. I love it. Well, Kaleo Manuel, this guy's in charge of the water. Now it says he's a cultural practitioner, so I'm hoping that means he does those shows where he does the and all that stuff, and they got the grass skirts and stuff, and they're dancing, and they make all the tourists happy. But it's really that's their culture. That's how they used to be. That's how they still are in some cases. So I think that's what that means. I don't know. I'm just so used to with the word cultural. I'm just automatically thinking misappropriation. So he's a cultural practitioner. I don't know what that means. But he worked for a company or something out there, the DLNR or something. It means this. So there's that. And I believe there's a water grab on that island. And there's water sanctions and there's water complications. So that is me giving this guy the benefit of the doubt. Now, people in West Maui were saying, we need water because we do not want our homes to burn down. Not because they don't want their grass to turn brown. They don't want their homes to burn down. What part of that? With maybe an alerted system. I don't even know. It sounds like this just went tinderbox the way they're acting, especially the people in charge. Like it just caught them. I mean, one of the most grisly pictures there is this picture. Check this picture out right here. Right there. Check that picture out. Cars abandoned in the middle of a highway. This fire just went scary. It's really scary. So I'm going to give them a benefit of the doubt that this was a very fast-paced, moving fire. It's probably very dry out there, obviously, because it's Hawaii. It's a very warm geography. But this guy would not give them water. He didn't give them water all day. So I guess this was an all-day thing, obviously. This wasn't like the California or the Canada fires that went on and on and on for a long period of time. This is a day. Now, he waited all day. And because of his late response, many, many people lost their homes. Accountability. There needs to be accountability. That guy, I believe, hasn't resigned yet. But I don't care if he resigns right away or not. He better be fired or resign. And you know what? I think he needs to go to jail. Bet you he's not going to live in Maui the rest of his life now. Because if I was a Maui resident and that son of a bitch didn't turn the water on when there was a huge fire, one of the biggest fires in the history of America, one of the biggest everything. This thing broke records for America as far as biggest fire spread, blah, 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 through residential areas and taking lives, which we still don't know. We're at 111, but who knows? I believe when you subtract 388 from 1100, that gives you somewhere in the range of about 712. I don't know. And then you got 111 people dead. There's probably 600 people still missing and still misunderstood right now. Something tells me a lot of those people are gone. And a lot of those people with families, full families, are saying, this is a tragedy, folks. This is a big tragedy. Take a moment to get on Google, Yahoo, whatever you like. Get on there and check out the topographical photos of Maui. And if you're not amazed like I was amazed, how just the fire just stopped at certain points. And you can tell because the grass is green. It goes from gray and brown to green. Ironically, big, beautiful hotels still have their lush green grass. You know, I'm going to say Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey still has her green grass. And the rest of the famous people that have homes and mansions and wealthy people. Now let's talk about the mayor, Richard Bison, I think is how you would say his last name. Bison. He's a bison's ass. He had a reporter asking him tough questions. A tough question.
There's no more sun.
That's smart.
Sitting with crazy shit flying everywhere. It's really bad, close by.
Slow down, and also all the names that have been announced so far have been out. Are there children that have been found in this visit? And the hesitance to announce that because that will obviously just be a different level of fight there.
I don't know.
Yes, you do. How many children are missing? You know.
I need the answer to that. I'd be happy to answer that.
You have no estimate as to how many children are missing?
I guess we can end this right now. You guys want?
This is one of the biggest questions that the people of Lahaina have.
It always takes one or two to ruin it for everybody. This is our house.
Well, we can say that about you. You ruined it for everyone.
You can say whatever you want.
You're a disaster.
All right. Okay.
You've been the worst mayor we could possibly imagine. Respect? Respect what? This is the most dismal response we've ever had.
You won't wait for your turn. You want to show that these guys are legit.
Why don't you give them the real answers then? Give them
I'm worried about
answers.
them waiting their turn instead of addressing a question about missing children. This guy's an ass. I wish, and this guy won't give an estimate how many children are missing to a resident who's asking the question, not a reporter, a resident asking the question, how many children are missing? And he wouldn't give him an estimate. Okay, let's put this into some kind of sense. You're a resident of Lahaina, Maui. You're a resident. You know people. You have friends. You have neighbors. Their children might be missing. You may have a child missing. You're not sure if this may be an epidemic of missing children because they were in school when this happened. Stuff like that. You need to know the quantities, the values of things, the measure of how bad things really are. You need to know that. But the government likes to not let you know that. Why? They don't want panic. They don't want whatever. I don't know. But who cares about that? Because now I'm a resident. I'm watching. And this resident goes, how many children are missing? And he goes, I don't have that number. You don't have an estimate? You have an estimate. If you don't have an estimate, then you're definitely not doing your job. So that made it even worse, okay? So at least have an estimate. And then you need to say, well, we estimate approximately 200 children might be missing. Now, that number is out of the blue, out of the top of my head right now. Now, the residents and people can say, we have 200 kids missing? I got to get out there. I got to quit watching TV. I got to go help. Simple as that. That is letting people know. And that's what happens when you let people know what's going on. Then they will then feel the pressure of, holy crap. Now, it should be one kid's missing. and the whole community do it, like we do, Amber Alert. But we're talking about at least a handful are gone and missing and nobody knows. And I'm going to say the number's bigger than that. Let your community know so that they can get out there. If they're not already, don't get me wrong. But this guy is a buffalo's ass. It always takes one or two to ruin for everybody. Yeah. You're one of them, Mayor Bisson. I'm all fired up. That's me getting all fired up. Because, it's just, this is a great micro example. Definitely a great micro example of how bad our government is everywhere. From small towns, to cities, to states, to the country. This is how bad our government's becoming. And I think we're voting these people in because we're lazy, because we don't want to research them, because we just want to be mindless robots in a two-party system. I'm a Democrat, I'm voting straight Democrat card, blah, 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 blah. I'm a Republican, blah, 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 blah. Wake up, people. Come on, man. We got to wake up. And we've got to start trying to make a difference. At least trying. We've got good people out there that would be much better in all these positions if we just drop our parties and we look at the people and we look at what they have to say and we look at their history and we look at their reputations. We're not doing that. And we got to hold people's feet to the fire. The world needs to see this mayor get lambasted so that all the other mayors just may pucker a little bit and do a better job. Same goes for all the other idiots, because there seems to be a whole gaggle of idiots. You know what? I get it. They live in a land of euphoria for the most part. I mean, I'm not saying they don't have same human problems we all have, but they're in a beautiful, beautiful place. Beautiful beaches, beautiful kind of mountain things, whatever they have there. Rock, volcanoes. I don't know. I've never been to Maui. I've never been to Hawaii. But I'm going to say that they've got some pretty great weather and they have some pretty great scenery and they have some pretty great things to do. And so I can see them get a little lackluster when it comes to responsiveness to emergencies and things like that. I guess. That's just me. I'm a landlocked guy from Indiana. But I'm going to tell you right now, it scares the hell out of me. It scares the hell out of me. It should scare the hell out of you too.